Welcome, everyone. I'm Dr. Mike Reid from Prosperity 10X, and this is my good friend,
Dr. Matt Loop from
Point that way.
Profit365.org. Good to be with you all today.
Yeah, welcome, everybody. I have a lot of people jumping on. So first of all, I want to welcome you to this masterclass that Matt and I are running. And we really want to talk about some powerful strategies to make a passive income in uncertain times. For those of you who are watching what's happening with the bank and the industry right now, it's getting a little precarious out there. And this has never been a better time, especially those of you who are in the health and wellness area, to start taking your super talent and putting it online and or creating secondary businesses like Matt and I have done. So Matt, I'm actually really excited about this call today because this is something we haven't really truly explored in the past, but we're going to sort of delve into a lot of things that you and I are doing, and we're going to extrapolate on that down at our UCAM event. So for those of you who are listening, if you're looking at making a passive income, if you're looking at magnifying your current businesses, whether in practice or you have secondary businesses, you want to stay to the end with us because we're going to share with you an opportunity I think you're going to love to be with Matt and myself and another guest speaker who teaches 8 figures at an amazing retreat that we have, and it's super cost effective and affordable for everybody as well. So Matt, without further ado, let's maybe delve into some of the top key things that people can actually start to do to start passive income, a secondary income.
So with that, expanding on your point, right now it's definitely a pivotal time. I don't really have to I think even a fool can see that this is a very interesting time that we live in. And unfortunately, I always say this, no one's coming to save you. You have to save yourself. So passive income is one thing, but it's also about getting your money to work for you. And those are some of the things that we love to talk about. I mean, if you hang around in the right circles, I spend over $75,000 per year just in masterminds to be in high level circles with people who the conversation is totally different. And, some of the stuff we're going to talk about today are things in those circles. And I just have a sense of urgency every time that I wake up, every day that I wake up, because I'm optimistic about what is possible and what I've seen. And there's massive opportunity, but I also see how the world is going a certain way and how the masses, per usual, are following them, and they're going to be let off of a cliff. I think we're going to see a lot worse things financially, collectively as a society, but that opens up a tremendous amount of opportunity. So the first thing that I'd actually like to share and talk a bit about, not only just a way to create additional passive income, but a way to allow your money to make more money for you in a high leverage way that many doctors, entrepreneurs, they never think about, is to acquire an existing business. Now, you can do this with capital if you have investments on the sidelines. Sometimes you can do this with little to no money out of pocket. And this is just a way to where, especially in this new economy, so many people that I'm affiliated with are using this strategy to leverage up and literally multiply their wealth in a matter of months versus before it would take you years. I come from the world, I don't know about you, Mike, but I come from the world where I've usually started up my own stuff. I started up my own chiropractic practice from scratch, started up my own online ventures from scratch. Eventually, I built a big following online, which is cool. Now I have some leverage with my list. So when I launch a new product, well, I get instant sales, but that's still launching something new. There are, if last time I read it, I think it's over 10,000 baby boomers that retire every day. That might actually be low, in fact. And a lot of these baby boomers, they don't know, they're not going to sell their businesses. Most of them don't even know how to sell. And many businesses won't even sell. And there are other people that just have different situations. You just never know. Somebody might be getting divorced. They could want to move out of the country. I mean, I've seen all different types of scenarios where they've got this extremely profitable business, and you can find this all the way across the line. Businesses generating $100,000 a year, businesses generating $1 million a year, and a lot more, right? It just depends on your comfort level, where you are. I just spoke with a gentleman yesterday for a company that we may be acquiring here in Savannah, Georgia. And this company has been, it's been in business for 20 plus years. And this is a classic entrepreneur that he built his company. He's got the key people in HR. He has a manager. It's a professionally managed institution, and it's only, I mean, top line revenue is 1.2 million. Profit is about 300,000, like net profit after everything is said and done. So, but the reality is he spends maybe 2 hours a week on this business, if that, because it's professionally managed. He's not doing social media marketing for it, not doing Google, not doing a lot of stuff that we talk about. So it would be very easy for me to come in and fly above the business and
Right.
inject my zone of expertise, my social media, whatever that is. I like opportunities like that because it allows you to build wealth extremely fast. But then, and the, you know, I could speak for 4 hours on this one subject alone, but the one thing that I will give you is when you go in this route, you need to have what's called acquisition criteria. Your sweet spot, meaning that maybe you like, you know, and this could be related to health or not. Doesn't really matter. You know, something that you are passionate about, or maybe you just see a really good opportunity, something that might be recession proof or corona proof or whatever. You know, let's say you like ninja gyms. You know, that's your passionate to the side of chiropractic. You can find people that are probably selling those, but you need to figure out, okay, well, I'm in the hunt for businesses doing $1 million to $3 million in the top line revenue. Now, if something is top line $1 to $3 million, their profit margin, who knows, could be 20%, 30%, somewhere in there. And usually the valuation of a business could be, you know, 2 to 3 times for the small business, for example, let's say 2 to 3 times the average net profit. So if you're generating $300,000 net profit, you could expect that business maybe to sell for $600,000 to $900,000. And a large portion of that, just like you would go get a mortgage loan, the Small Business Association can give you a loan for 90% of that amount. And there's other ways that you can creatively finance. So you're literally coming out of pocket very minimal, if any at all. So just, I want to get the wheels turning in your mind, because this is the direction that, like, I'm already in. And then a lot of business owners, ways to create not just passive income, but high leverage ways to get your money to work for you smarter, that you've got an asset that doesn't matter what the economy is doing, you've got something. I know that was a lot of information there, but just.
But no, this is powerful stuff, Matt, because I know I'm going to take a tangent. And I know when I'm really excited to start, you know, sort of learning from you as well, is you've also delved into the real estate market too. And people will
Yeah,
always
yeah.
need a shelter over their heads. So, you know, you got businesses you can acquire, you got real estate you can start to accumulate under your portfolio as well.
Sure. And you know, that's another great point, to where, um, so my wife and I, we do more so single family investing here in Georgia. I would recommend anyone that's starting out in this space, and you can consult your financial advisor, accountant, attorney, whoever, but commercial real estate is not for the beginner. You know, if you're not investing in real estate, I wouldn't go that route, because there's much higher risk. But the game is essentially, again, getting your money to work for you, high leverage. With real estate, a lot of people, I don't think they understand the fact that when you buy a property, let's say you buy a single family home, or, I mean, if it is a building, you have an opportunity to purchase this home with other people's money, with a lender, right? And stick a renter, a tenant, in that house, so you can generate income every month, passive income, right? It's a simple arbitrage. Whatever
Right.
your monthly mortgage is, if it's 1,000 and your rent is 2,000 that you can charge, you're making 1,000 minus what you maybe pay a property management company and some repairs here and there. So that's one way that your money works for you. But the second way is long term. Real estate always appreciates long term. You can go back 100 years. And of course, there's going to be fluctuations in the market always.
Yeah.
And if you know where the economy is going, if you know where the people in charge are really taking this thing, they want a renter nation all the way across the board. So if you own the assets, you have the power. And those assets,
Right.
my opinion, is they're going to continue to skyrocket. And I think we'll probably see I don't know when this is going to be, but hockey stick appreciation. So you typically get appreciation on top of the cash flow every month. And then you can also strategically depreciate assets. If you have a clinic right now, likely if you have a CPA or whatever, you're probably depreciating certain amounts of equipment every year, maybe a small amount. But with real estate, you can do what's called accelerated depreciation with certain ways that you can do that, which can literally shave tens of thousands of dollars off your tax bill. This is how a lot of rich and wealthy people pay zero tax legitimately, because the government gives them incentivizes them to depreciate their assets. So there's so many benefits, not just the cash flow every month from the real estate side of things. My wife and I are in the single family space to where we'll buy properties in certain school districts and we'll put renters in there, and it's a long-term play. A buddy of mine is incredible at short-term rentals. He's got over 80 properties. He just spoke at one of our events that we hosted a few months ago. So like, he's my go-to in that regard. Short-term rentals still have a lot of opportunity, but the game's changed a lot in the last year. So you need to be connected with the right people. And then you also have like stuff like flips, but that's more risky, where you're buying something and selling it high. And then you have what are called sub two, which is more creative financing, assuming different mortgages. Time and place for all of these things. But the bottom line is, you need to be thinking of, at least this is how I was taught, if you don't hold it, you don't own it. Right. I'm not negative about anybody that's in the stock market. That's totally your choice. To me, that feels like gambling, because the markets are driven by greed. I don't actually have the paper, just like I don't have the money in the bank right now. And if shit really hit the fan, you're not getting your money back.
Right.
And
I agree with you. Yeah, and you're also talking about a tangible, something you can hold on to, and that's one thing that my investor advisor, he gave me years ago. He says, make sure it's just like a Coke machine. You put $1 in, you don't know what's happening in between. You get a different product at the end. So he says, diversify, number one, and number two is make sure it's a tangible you can hold on to, like real estate, like property, and that's where I've made my money in the past.
100%. Yeah. And like I said, I could literally talk for 3 hours on this. And I did a seminar. Hopefully you guys can join us at our Caribbean Adventure Mastermind in Cancun. And the benefit of being there, like with you and I, private time, is literally a 15-minute conversation can change your life. Oh, and I speak from experience, to where literally I will go. And that's a big reason why I still go to masterminds, is because I pay to be in the room with really smart people that I have no idea. Like, I need to learn that skill set. And I know that if I'm 15 minutes with him, I can just get what I need and then be on a whole different trajectory. So we definitely want to have you in there. We can certainly talk more about business acquisition. I'm gonna really go into depth in the training as well as the real estate, because I just think that moving forward, even if you don't think you have the money for real estate or business acquisition, you can always be resourceful and get access to capital, and I'll teach you how to do that, like what I've done. So,
and I agree. Coming back to masterminds, Matt, it's funny. Sometimes you go in a mastermind and you typically walk out like a dog with your tail between your legs, very humbled, because there are a lot of smarter people than you in the room, or they're diverse in their knowledge, and you can glean a lot from these people that you can put into your own, your portfolio and your investments and things like that. And coming back even to we can talk about investments, we can talk about real estate, we can talk about business acquisitions. Let's go into something that you're really good at, and that's Amazon. Because I found a quote that Jeff Bezos made $514 billion with a B last year in Amazon. He controls 60% of online purchases right now, and he's only going up, right? So I know you have products on Amazon. We're putting some of Dr. Shireen's products on Amazon as well. Let's maybe talk about that, because that's a huge opportunity for people to have a product to get it to sell on its own.
Sure. Amazon isn't going anywhere, so you might as well capitalize on what's happened the last 3 years with the pandemic in particular. Even people that were apprehensive about buying online, they didn't have any options. So it almost forced a segment of the marketplace to go online. That's why Amazon has seen record profits. Regardless if you agree and align with Bezos or this particular medium or not, my recommendation is to get while the getting's good and take care of your family, period. Right. We have tools and technology that, can be used for good and bad, but Amazon, the quantity of buyers that are there, these aren't looky lures like on Google or Facebook, by the way. If you actually have and understand how to create and rank products high on Amazon, those are truly passive sales. Like I had this one girl, I always reference her. She was selling an organic mosquito repellent many years ago, and within like 2 or 3 weeks, she was able to get on the first page and then started to see some sales, right? Like a couple of sales here and there. And she was only making $2 per product. So it wasn't like breaking the bank, but eventually that grew and it was $30 per day she was making, then 60 and more, just
Right.
off of a simple idea. So I believe that Amazon is an important way to start. Now, if you start though, you just bare basic, you have to have what's called a seller central account. And then you have to figure out, okay, well, do I want to source products here in the United States, or do I want to source them overseas like in China? And that's totally your call. With supply issues, there might be issues over in China for some products, which is why you want to have expertise and run it by a mentor, just in case. But figure out something that you love, that you consume, and you can always private label or white label that particular thing, whether it's health related or practice wise or not. And then the good thing is, many of you that are watching this right now, you already have patient bases, which means that you've got a customer list
Right.
where if you do start to sell something on Amazon, you can drive initially your people that already know, like, and trust you. I don't know what, maybe you're selling supplements on Amazon, for instance. That's recurring revenue. And eventually, if you get purchases for certain products that you have there, the more purchases that you get, the more Amazon kicks it into their algorithm and shows it with other products, which enable you to get even more passive sales and increase your rankings. So you've got an advantage of being in practice where you could shuttle traffic there immediately, even if it's not necessarily practice related stuff that you want to sell. So figure out, I mean, you can go right now, as an example, go to Amazon top 100 products on Google. Just look at what's selling hot. I'm not saying that you're going to sell those. Maybe you will, maybe there are opportunities, but that could also give you ideas for other products that are mildly competitive. And, of course, at our UCAM event, we're really going to drill down into the strategy, tools, techniques, resources that you have access to. And, if you're not already a member, I'm going to give you access to one of my programs, video tutorials that has Amazon trainings in it anyway. So very viable source. And I would strongly recommend having something selling on Amazon these days.
Absolutely. Matt, I want to also delve into people's superpowers and how they can actually put that online too, because, I'll tell you an interesting story. This happened to me a couple of years ago. I had this vision of developing my own software. I don't know if I ever told you the story. It was called Carmen. It was an acronym for Chiropractic Acquisition Retention Management Network. And anyhow, I put about $250,000 into this thing with my designer. He got cancer, he passed, and the code went with him. So lesson learned, I still had an outline because we had storyboarded this, and I was approached by a company in the chiropractic world, and we exchanged IP for a percentage of the company. So there's talent that I had in developing chiropractic businesses. We were able to take that, and 3 years later, $3 million later, we have a software program. So everybody's got a super talent you can put out there. And then now it's in the position where they're going IPO, we're reinvesting into it, take a larger acquisition within that company. But you have the ability to start making passive income by doing something like that.
100%.
Yeah, Dr. Shreen, my wife, for those of you guys already know, she's built this amazing drshreen.com network. We've got a website, we've got a membership site. So anything you do, like even this recording is going into our membership sites, and yours, Matt, and mine in the UCAM site. So people can actually reference this, take your skill, record it, always record, because there's that one day you're going to have an amazing masterclass or webinar. And you go, oh, I didn't hit the record button. So that's always critical too. But you can have membership sites, you can do products. And what's really cool is you can actually approach other companies that will allow you to private label. I know Douglas Labs does that. Zymogen does that. So there's nutrition companies out there. You can formulate your own, you can private label your own, because it's a competitive market. They just want to get it out the door, and they don't care if your name is on it. And you can create some great margins, up to 300 to 500% on products when you buy them in bulk. So just give me an example. We're able to buy a protein about $18 in bulk, and then we could sell it for about 67. So you can see how the margins can be massive, even if you include shipping and taxes and things like that. Mm-hmm. So what I say to everybody, everyone's got a talent. It might be pediatrics, it might be sports, it might be something that's not even related to the healthcare business, that you can actually create a website, you can create a funnel, you can create anything you want, products, And then you can use the social media skills that you can learn from Matt and myself at UCAM to then push it out into the market. And the most wonderful thing, I keep telling this story, is that bing bing from your Shopify store happens at like 11 o'clock at night as you're going to bed. And my wife jumped up in bed. She goes, "What's that noise?" I said, "That's the alert on your Shopify app on your phone telling you just had a sale." And she looked at it, she makes you $100. So it might seem small. You talk about the mosquito repellent. It might seem small, guys, but starting now and building that over time with longevity and nurturing those multiple pillars that you can create online, you're going to create an amazing amount of wealth, amazing amount that's going to have huge dividends, especially in today's world. So, Matt, I've got a whole list here of things. So go ahead.
I was going to make a comment here. I talk numbers sometimes. I don't really like to talk a lot of big numbers though, because I remember when I was at a certain level to where even if I was doing well in practice, for instance, but I couldn't like understand the online income game. Like how are you going to make 6 figures online or whatever it is? And I would always, I remember I went to a seminar a long time ago, gentleman Frank Kern, he had $1 million launch day. And I remember purchasing one of his products, and I was in disbelief initially, but I started to resonate and his stuff started making me money. And I was like, if this guy can pull down $1 million in a day, there's no reason why I can't do an extra $100,000 this year online, just figuring out. So I gave myself, I think that was a very healthy comparison that I gave myself. And so just like, I know my zones of genius, right? Yours and other people. Don't assume that, or don't be, I should say, intimidated by something that you don't understand per se. That's our goal, to kind of show you and teach you, start you from the ground up. So you ultimately pick one thing. We're going to talk about a lot of things today, and even at our training, but you got to choose one thing first, get that off the ground, because we only get paid for done, right? And I know a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of times just because they don't have the professional guidance or the consistency. They're all here, they're there next week, and in 2 months they're doing this, and they never really get something off the ground. And not only getting it off the ground, but like you talked about, Mike, getting traffic to the offers, getting traffic, and building a legit, reliable system. You could have the best product in the world, but if you don't consistently pump traffic, visitors through social media, you're dead in the water. You're not going to sell anything. So don't go all the way and get something launched. I've seen this a lot, actually. And like, well, I'm not making any sales. It must be a bad product, or it must not be working. No, you're just not getting any traffic. What do you expect? So it all starts with one thing, and then we have to be able to get traffic to that. So whatever, as we talk today, maybe there's going to be something that's going to resonate with you more, and you're going to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to start this. And then once we get down to Mexico, you can run the ideas by me, and I could say, oh yeah, do this based on my experience. Boom, you can shoot up this way or do this, and tailor it to you.
And I said this years ago, marketing is everything. I agree with you. You've got to have your system down first. So whatever, if it's a funnel you're creating, a website, or day 1, day 2 procedures, whatever it is, that's got to be solid first. And then you start driving traffic, and you can really turn on the spigot, watch your ROI, whether you're using Facebook and Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, doesn't matter which platform you choose. But that's what it comes down to. Your email base, like you said earlier, Matt, money is in the email base. You've got to have that as well. So there's multiple pillars that we're going to cover down in Mexico, but all of these will drive an immense amount of traffic. I look at one funnel in Shreen's practice that produces, about $250,000 a year. And that's just from traffic coming in. And it's really
huge.
It's massive, right? That's just huge. One funnel. So
if you guys are finding this insightful, by the way, just say this is cool or something in the chat box, so we know we're not talking to a wall. It's always good to like get feedback from everyone. Like, hey, you're finding this useful. Some things, I didn't know, like just the basic things, and I'm like, whoa, this is somebody's doing this in this way, and I'm always trying to give feedback. So would appreciate yours too.
Absolutely. And there's so many platforms. My very first webinar, Matt, we were selling a product. We sold 35 at $697. It pulled in about 25,000 just to inspire people, not to impress you, but impress upon you the power of not even knowing what you're doing in the beginning, and just sometimes shooting first, then aiming later. You can produce a ton of passive income. I refer to passive, one webinar, which you evergreen, and then you've got money constantly coming in. Yeah. So a few people are giving us thumbs up. That's great. Arthur from Florida, thank you for being with us. Celine Hayward, thank you. Great so far. That's great, guys. We appreciate those kind words.
Jason says, where can I find details on Mexico? Just go to www.ucam.fun and see if we can get Linda to put that in the chat as well. Just
yeah.
Details.
And for those of you guys stick around, I'm going to give you an offer at the end. It's a bonus to actually come down to Mexico. That is totally irresistible. But, you know, Matt, I've also found that people that tend to work with us tend to do about $500,000 a year just in, you know, sort of merging our both talents together and seeing growth in their practice of brick and mortar. It doesn't matter what type of brick and mortar it is, but secondary income. So that's what I'm really excited about, especially, you know, building drstring.com, my digital agency, your social media agency as well, and the income that we can delve from that. Matt, let's talk about authority building, because you wrote an amazing book, absolutely loved it. And you took your talents and you put it in Social Media Made Me Rich, which I think was a hit of an amazing book.
Thank you. So talking about authority building and books in general. So books can be a wonderful way to generate additional income. Unfortunately, a lot of docs that have books, they don't make money with their books. Most people don't, in fact, but you can, and it's nice to get money on the front end, but also to use it as a lead gen, like all these things. And the reality is less than 1% of the population ever writes a book. So when you have that out there, something with your face and name on a cover, people look at you differently. They really do. And you can use it as a very high level, high status positioning angle. You know, sometimes it's just a matter of somebody might know that they want your service. They might have a herniated disc and need to go in there, but there's a mental block in their mind. And one of the ways that you overcome that is to establish credibility and celebrity and authority before they ever come in. And having a book kind of does that. You still have to give away and deliver the goods in the book itself, but you should have, you know, you should have that written. And nowadays it's just so simple. I mean, you can write the book yourself. You can chip away at it every morning like I did, 2 hours a day, get your chapters, you know, what you want to talk about in each chapter. You could hire a ghostwriter from upwork.com to get on the phone with you every single week and ultimately write the book for you, and then you look it over, add your own stuff afterward, but they're literally taking your words. You know, so that's the easiest way. And then publishing is kind of very, very similar. But when you have it out there, it is a big sense of accomplishment. And I'm telling you, I used to, like, before I published Social Media Made Me Rich, a very long time ago, I had self-published a book called Cracking the Cancer Code. And it was more like optimizing your body from a nutritional perspective. I would give that away locally in the community. I would just give it away. People throw business cards away, but very rarely does somebody throw a book away.
That's right.
So I would give it away, and I had tons of people come in my office because of it, but it was a great card that would sit on shelves and get me visibility and noticed. And so I can't say enough great things. Plus, these books, if it's done right, like we teach, it opens doors for you that would never be opened otherwise. There are media interview outlets, like, you know, when I got on NASDAQ, for example, like, or some of these other channels, I wouldn't have had access to those opportunities if I didn't have a best-selling book. And so people, even major media, look at that as a huge credibility deal. So I can't say enough about getting it done. And, you know, if that's something you want to talk about, we can absolutely go in that further.
Yeah, and the nice thing having a book too, you can also access these different media portals like you've done, but you can also start asking for a higher fee as well when you're out there speaking. If you're on, you know, you're going to different events, seminars, and you're asking for a fee to speak, guys. By having that, it allows you to get a higher speaker's fee, so to say. The other thing too, Matt, I want to really tap into. It's something that's going to change the world. I know you know this, and that's the AI, and especially with the Chat GPT. I know you've got a course on that, which is kind of cool. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking at this stuff, and oh yeah, we got Chat GPT 3.0 and now 4.0 that just rolled out this week. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the implications of that in building your business or your brick and mortar online, because I've actually implemented it in one of our tech tools already, and we're seeing a massive lift right now in our funnels.
Yeah, you have to think about Chat GPT as like this big neural network online that pulls from all these different sources, Google textbooks, like just so many different avenues, and can write coherently and really analyze data. I mean, it's incredible in terms of efficiency and productivity. And depending on certain agency, it's going to make a lot of jobs obsolete, because you can literally, I could right now go to Chat GPT and say, write me a 400-word blog post on chiropractic and how chiropractic helps with scoliosis. And Chat GPT will come back and it'll do exactly just that. And you should see the quality of work. Now, I will caution you, depending on where you're going to source your writing and what comes back, sometimes you might need to run it through Copyscape to make sure it's unique and original content.
Right.
But in terms of the quality for like blog posts, like I look at the other day, I was showing a doc, I'm like, write a video script for a chiropractor who's taking care of back pain and yada, yada, yada. It will literally write a video script for you about, tell you, camera here, talk about this, do this. It gives you the script. It's incredible. So there's so many ways that you can use that, even to write code. But we are only seeing the tip of the iceberg. So yeah, I mean, it would be very smart to continue and to really start to utilize that, regardless of your feelings of AI or not. This is not something that can be put back in a box.
Absolutely, I agree with you. Yeah. And we started, Matt, we started implementing the Chat GPT, the AI, in our follow-up system. So an interesting stat, if you can touch base with a person who's interested in your product or service. Listen to this, guys. In the first 1 minute, if you can do that, you have a 93% lift that they're going to actually book with you or buy your product. So what we did is, when people show an interest, we capture in our opt-ins name, email, phone number. We have it set up now for an SMS text, because it has a 95% open rate. The Chat GPT will engage with that person and get them to book. And we've actually seen a lift in our funnels compared to step 2, which would be a vocal follow-up phone call, and then step 3 would be an automated email sequence. So now we can put the AI right into our own funnel system on lead generation, which is just so cool that you can use this stuff. And now it's hands off for you, right? You don't have to do as much physical lifting anymore, because the AI is doing it for you. So that's one area that we've started implementing it into in our business. I think it's just so cool.
Nice.
All right. Online courses. This is huge, because I've always said your super talent can be put into a membership site. And I'm going to talk about and help people in Mexico create their value ladder. So I'm going to do something a little different, little twist. We're going to take your super talent, guys, whatever it is, and at the UCAM this year, we're going to help build your value ladder. What I mean by that, a value ladder would be something where you're going to have an initial offer, and that offer might be for a report. It might be for a membership site. People come to mind, I give them a free 14-day trial to go into the Jetpack system specifically for chiropractors. But you can create offers, memberships from 97 up to 197, that ballpark. Give them a free trial to go in there. You capture a credit card on the way in, and there you have your talent in a membership site. Now think about this. You can also use it as a downsell. So if you have a higher price ticket, like $300, $600, $900, and they say no to that, you can actually downsell that to a membership site. I want you to think about this for a second, guys. $97 times just 100 people. Well, that's $9,700 a month passive income with a membership site. And you can do that on Thinkific, on Kajabi. You can even do that in a CRM like Go High Level, even ClickFunnels, if you have one of those CRMs. But now you can actually gamify it too. You can actually have fun with it. You can congratulate people, send little voice whispers and emails and things like that. So I really want those of you who are listening to think about what you love to do, what your superpower is, and then how can I actually create a course in a membership site? And you can have multiple membership sites too. You can put your products on there as well, that they can actually upsell and buy a product that you might have. And Matt, now I know you've done that in the past. It's been exceptionally successful for you as well.
Yeah, when I first started, I first started my online journey through what's called affiliate marketing, taking other people's products and selling them, and they give you a commission. And then evolved into the online course world, where you keep 95% plus of the profits, which is pretty darn cool. So the Social Media Elite, that was my flagship Chiro program, and used to be DVDs, and then it turned into an online course way back in the day. And that thing's always just sold really well, teaching Chiros how to do social. And when I launched the Chat GPT course, it's kind of the same thing. I used Kartra to host my thing. And the great thing is you can find people on Fiverr, Upwork, wherever, to do the stuff that you can't do. Like, you don't know how to upload the videos to to Kartra to put it in a clean membership site. Have this person do it for minimal cost for you. Get getting a course created is not terribly difficult. It's just now starting to get traffic there, getting your strategy
Right.
of market domination, because you're competing with a lot of other people now. And if you don't position your brand at the top of the food chain, like we talk about, or like we're going to talk about in Mexico, it's going to make a lot harder to compete. And you're just going to be run of the mill. There's a lot of differentiating factors. Once you have your own list and you're established, yeah, it's easy to launch other courses to your own list, but you still need to be always on the lookout for traffic, joint venture partnerships, or ways that you can get notoriety and awareness to your products and services. And ultimately, like you said, graduate them up that ladder. And maybe eventually you want to have your own concierge type of care, or programs or coaching or retreat seminars, whatever that might be, that are more premium, that command a higher price. But it all starts with, again, one thing: deciding where on the ladder you want to have your first product, and then getting it created, and then starting to understand how to drive traffic via social media, and then understanding then, okay, now that we're getting opt-ins and conversion, what's the optimal rates and ratios? How do we improve the conversion here? And so it's a mathematical formula.
It is. And, affiliate marketing too. There's people out there that are at home looking to make money, guys. Faster way to fat loss, built over $100 million business just by having affiliate health coaches. So, in the functional nutrition world, for those of you who are dealing with that, whether you're an MD, a chiropractor, one of the keys to that is just reaching out and finding influencers that will promote your product. You give them a certain percentage. So you're tapping into an email list, or at least a social media portal that you wouldn't normally have access to. And that's where you give them a certain percentage. You're making money passively. And this is how a lot of these online businesses tap into millions of dollars on a monthly, on a yearly basis. So we're going to be covering some of that as well when we're down at the UCAM event. Matt, you know what I want to do? Do you want to talk about anything else with regards to where things are going? Or what we can do, I can offer the doctors who are on with us today, and the entrepreneurs, we've got quite a few people on, the opportunity to actually join us down in Mexico this year. I'm really excited about this year because we've got a lot of cool things that we haven't done in the past. And we're tapping into such a large variety of different key structures that people can use. I can jump into that, and then we can open up for some Q&A unless there's something else you want to cover. Matt, you're muted right now, but.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I got you.
All right. Yeah, let me just say real quick that there's several reasons why you'd kind of want to be in this circle with other high-level chiropractors and entrepreneurs, high performers, so to speak, people that aren't just satisfied with the ordinary, that want to live average lives, right? We want to perform at our best. We want to help people at the highest level. We want to take care of our families, make more money, all those things. Content is one thing. We can always deliver great on the content. We have, I don't know, like 40% of the room that are returning members from last year or in previous years. So it's a extremely amazing compliment for us to see. People love it. They come back, they're making more money, they're doing bigger impact, and they come back. But really, if you understand the value of just being in the room with high performers, and for me, this is how I live my life now. I always knew the value of relationship capital, but I didn't up until the last 4 or 5 years, in particular, the last 3 years. I think that given the times that we're in right now, because everyone's like, oh, we'll do Zoom this, we'll do Zoom that. And they think it's just as good and impactful, but it's really not. Because number one, when you pay attention. And I can tell you from experience, when I pay and invest in certain things, I'm there, I'm all in, especially when I pay a good premium to be coaching with somebody or X mastermind or at an event. And it just opens you up to more of a creative state. And then you're in an amazing environment, certainly, where, we're going to do some amazing bucket list excursions too, because we believe in, obviously work hard, play hard type of philosophy, but it's really about creating new friendships and people that are doing at or above the level that you want to be at. And in today's time, in this environment, and in this chaos that which we're starting to see, I can't even emphasize the importance of being around like just the right people at this stage, and be very careful what you're letting into your mind in the conversations. So that's the value that I find out of this event, like more than anything else.
I agree, Matt. And for the people who are listening in with us today, I mean, the masterminds that we are in, we will spend anywhere from 20, 30, $40,000 on a regular basis. So what I want to do is I just want to just basically share with the doctors who are listening. Then we're going to open up for a little Q&A. Asking the cardinal question: do you want to hit the ground running now and move forward this year? If you say yes, give us a smiley face or a thumbs up, because right now you want to guarantee your success. And just as Matt said, whatever business you have, whether it's brick and mortar, whether it's virtual, you want a proven system that you don't have to guess with. You don't have to am I going to go down this mastermind or the seminar and walk away just with sunshine blowing out of my ass, or am I actually going to have the goods that I can actually take home and start to implement? So Matt, just to show a little social proof, a client of yours, Doug.
Yeah, we could share a lot of testimonials, people doubling their practices, generating millions of dollars a year. I mean, you can go through these, Mike. People can see dozens and dozens online. That alone, and we'd love to feature our success stories for sure. And you can do the research yourself. Joe, I know you were talking about her and Dr. Jason.
Yeah, and just they've worked with other people, and they started working with me and Matt, and you can just see, just looking at the results people are getting. And my wife's own beta, I should say, she's the beta in both her brick and mortar and her virtual, so it's tested and vetted first through them. And Dr. Patel, he's a classic example how he's generated over 1 million in social media alone,
which is crazy, right? And you have to have a goal for yourself. And number one, you should have a goal. Is my goal, how many people do I really want to reach? I love making money, don't get me wrong, but it's also, I think in our soul, we want to make a bigger impact and have a product or service that helps humanity at the highest level. Most docs that I work with are like that. So it's about meshing that with, okay, I want to make this much, I want to help this many people. And you got to be very clear on those, because if you're clear on oh yeah, I want to make $2 million a year and help this many people, that's a simple formula to reverse engineer. How much do we need to sell? How much traffic do we need to get today, in a day, to be able to accomplish those things? That's not complicated.
Yeah, and I think that's important, guys. It's not about the money. Money is secondary, right? It's all about serving humanity, helping people grow, making a difference on this planet compared to the sort of evil forces we see now. We're not going to get into that, but here's a question, guys. If you like what we shared with you free in the last 40 minutes, then you'll love what we have for you if you're willing to invest. It's going to be very, very inexpensive. We've given you a lot of great ideas, but implementation is what matters. So how can we turn those ideas into implementations? You want to go it alone? You can. We can end it here, send you on your own, and leave you with your own resources, time, and trials, and hope you get what you want. But what if there is another option that's worth it to pursue? So what if that option was really designed to go deeper than the short, 40-minute, 1 hour webinar where we connect together just this one time? What if we took and invested in active interest in your own outcome, gave you professional guidance, involved in a community of like-minded doctors and entrepreneurs? So it's not just doctors, but entrepreneurs. So you can glean from these guys as well, and armed you with the resources, strategy, tools, and more to make an active role in helping you succeed. I mean, literally holding you by the hands. Do you think that would make a difference? Now, do you think in that situation, we can empower you with all of our resources to stack the deck in your favor, seriously, and make success all but inevitable? Pretty well assured thing. So those who played full out with us, guys, in the past have seen just quantum growth in their businesses. And that's why we want to introduce to you what we call the Ultimate Caribbean Adventure Mastermind. Now, this mastermind, guys, happens this year. This is number 9, and it happens at this amazing resort. I've been here 3 times. It'll knock your socks off because it's in Cancun, Mexico. It's Cancun North. So it's like 20 minutes from the airport. You can write down ucam.fun, guys. That's the URL at the very bottom. We're going to put a different one in here. It's going to save you some dollars. And Matt,
this is a red carpet. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting.
Go ahead.
But the way that we do these events, we do it at very luxurious establishments, and we do that because you're worth it, right? I mean, some docs will come and they've just never been to a place like this before, but they get a taste of it. And it's what's interesting, and not all of us are material based, but you kind of like when you experience a luxury, like, wow, this is a beautiful place. This is a beautiful surrounding. I do deserve something like this. It almost creates an internal desire to make you even want to push a little harder. And now you've had a taste of something. So we love to do it first class to show you what's possible. And we find at these certain establishments, they treat you extremely well, and you can learn a lot in your own businesses from the customer service. I'm always trying to learn from great establishments.
Absolutely. Matt, just being in full immersion in a place like this where you're isolated with like-minded doctors. I mean, you and I have been good friends for about 20 years. And when I am with you, I learn from you, and you're always evolving. You're always changing. I'll get an entrepreneur who comes in. He's got a great idea. Oh, I can use that. I can adapt that into my protocols and my procedures. So to make success all but inevitable, guys, we're gonna give you some bonuses, and these bonuses are designed to give you a head start, or at least make success at 100% inevitability once you come down. So Matt, you're gonna give the first bonus.
Yeah, it's 16 copy and paste headline templates, a PDF that's been popular that I've sold in the past. A lot of times, whether it's email, social media, or otherwise, you could have great content, but if you don't understand how to compel people through a subject headline, it doesn't matter. This is part of copywriting, and it's a skill that is arguably one of the most important online. So I'm going to give you that to take the guesswork out. Whenever you're thinking of, or you need a headline or a compelling subject for anything, you can use this document.
Headlines are key. I'm going to give you the bonus number 2 is the 7-figure empire social media digital marketing report. It's really a sort of a summary of the things that you should be focused on moving into 2023. Matt?
And I don't do this because I don't have much time, but I'm also going to give a 30-minute Zoom conference with you to share and ultimately tailor social media strategies to your particular business, because I know your practice might be different than the doc down the street, or if you've got an online venture that you want. So we'll have an additional session together for this training.
And I'm also going to gift a 30-minute practice evaluation. So I'm actually going to give you a business audit, look at your numbers. This is totally confidential. You're walking with 5 objectives for Q2. And basically, I've had doctors grow $300,000 just from taking 5 initiatives based on their businesses. Something that's really cool. I'm really excited about this, Matt. We've never rented a yacht this big. This is the 110-foot Illusions, and the Illusions is going to take us for a 4-hour cruise around East Little Harris. We have food, we have drink. You and I are going to speak for 15 minutes on $1 million nugget that doctors can actually wrap their head around. And what's cool is that boat is going to take us straight at the resorts, picking us up at the pier. Then you can stagger off the boat to the beach barbecue, which we're going to do on this Saturday night. So as well, we're also going to do something we've never done before. We're actually doing an extra day, guys. If you make it on the 20th, so this event runs from the 21st to 23rd, but on the 20th, we're going to do extra advanced training, and we're going to gift you a ticket valued at $39.97 for the advanced VIP access. We're going to do advanced training on webinars, YouTube, and millionaire strategies. We have a private dinner that night, so you can be able to eat and drink with Matt and myself and pick our brains from 7 to 10. And then you're also going to get front row VIP seating to all the sessions. The next bonus includes our UCAM After Dark Presidential Suite Party. It's on the Friday night. 8 pre-event, pre-prep sessions, recordings on our top figure profit multipliers. Bonus. The third bonus is 4 30-minute power profit strategies to track more business online. You get private email support with Matt and myself, exclusive monthly group conference calls with Matt and myself, and we're gonna do something we've never done before: VIP over-the-shoulder training, starting your own online business. So Matt and I are going to share with you how to get started. You're going to, the camera is going to be sitting on our shoulder. You'll be able to see our screen and see what's going on. Matt's also going to give access to his best-selling programs, the Social Media Elite Practice Growth Tutorials, 60 videos, and the 365 Practice Graphics package. And Matt's also going to give you his 7-figure Rolodex of resources and tools. So, I mean, that alone is probably worth 100,000 plus, what we're going to be sharing with you. So guys, you're going to get all bonuses, all 6 bonuses, the copy and paste headlines, the 7-figure Empire Marketing Report, the consultations with both Matt and myself, the Diamond Wave Cruise, that stands for Wealth Adventure Voyage, and the upgrade to the UCAM VIP ticket, which is an extra day. The total value of that, guys, is about $61.88 for this event. So that's the actual value. We're also going to give you our Make You Happy guarantee. If you're not happy by Saturday at noon, you can just ask for a full refund. But we have, like Matt said, a 45% resign rate every year. Your investment for all that, guys, is only $24.97. Now, if you know your case averages in your practice, your business, you know that's peanuts. You get all of that, guys. Come down to the seminar, immerse with Matt, myself, and our guest speaker, Dr. Isaac Jones, who's speaking on 8-figure virtual as well. He's our guest speaker. There's a link right there. And if I get Linda, if I can put you the actual link in the chat, that way we can actually give it to the doctors and they can actually see what that link looks like.
If we can't help you make an extra $2,500, we don't deserve to be in business.
Yeah. Something's wrong, right? That's so true.
Or to 10 to 20x that very easily. Yeah, it's just what I like about these events is, if you're there, I can do a quick look under the hood of your practice or your business and figure out the high leverage strategies like, oh yeah, this, and this, and this. Like I've had mentors do to me in the past and like, oh yeah, I'm missing this opportunity. High leverage. I could literally send an email. Like one of my clients, it was probably 2 years ago at our UCAM event. I was like, she was selling a online product. And she mentioned like, well, I'm having some sales, but it's not consistent. And so I literally helped her craft an email sequence within, I don't know, like 20 minutes for that audience. And I gave her a template to model and she sent out 4 emails in 4 days. She had an extra $12,000 in sales just because she wasn't capitalizing on her email list that way. So sometimes it's the stupid, simple things that you're not really doing or you don't necessarily know are really important until I were to take out my phone and show you, oh yeah, this is what email marketing did for me just by doing this. And you see the proof like, oh yeah, maybe I should do that. So everyone's different in terms of what really needs to make that impact. But yeah, you're going to make more than $2,500 if you come down and hang with us.
I'll guarantee. I mean, it's like drinking from a fire hose, and the stuff that we share is practical, it's applicable, it's relevant to today. So I put another link right there, guys. Yeah, there's both those links actually take you to the same offer. You drop a credit card, book your appointment. I'm going to stress though, if you are interested, you want to book like really, really soon for a couple of reasons. One, the Secrets Hotel is booking up because COVID is over. Everyone's going on vacations. This hotel is 82% booked already. And chances are it's going to be sold out if you wait last minute. I know a lot of doctors like to come, they'll call last 2 or 3 weeks. Hey, do you still have tickets available? If there's no hotel rooms, it's almost impossible.
And our room block doesn't our room block end on the 20th or 21st?
It does. It's coming up in about a week's time where that room block is going to end.
That's where we don't get. That's where like literally, even if you bought a ticket 3 weeks later, you're not guaranteed to get in the hotel because, like Mike was saying, it's probably going to sell out there. And I don't know what the closest resorts are to that area. So it's always good to stay at the establishment where the events are anyway, because that's where the after hours and you just get so much more out of it. So don't be Airbnb off the property. That's ridiculous. Yeah. Never do that. Just even in the future, when you go to seminars and events, always be there. I'm telling you, you're going to miss a lot of stuff if you're not with the group and whatnot.
You're going to be in the pool having a Corona with somebody you just met, and you're going to get that one nugget that is literally going to be 10 times, tenfold the investment for the seminar. And that's it right there, guys. You see Dreams, which is on the left-hand side. So if you have family, you want to bring your family, you can bring your family. And that's Secrets for Couples on the right. You'll see some really nice hotel rooms in the very front. They have their own little plunge pools. But this resort is impeccable. The food is amazing. And they have like, I think 10 or 11 restaurants there. So you won't get sick of the food, trust me. Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
All right. So if we have questions, yeah, we also have a concierge. Guys, you'll see the concierge number 626-252-2834. That's Shelly to help you with your rooms or any questions that you might have. So you see the 2 links there. If anybody has a question, guys, Dr. Hayward says, yes, thank you very much. Jason, please send link. Appreciate you considering coming. And you guys, you can come a couple days extra, stay a couple days later at a room block price as well. I think we have it 3 and 3 days to make a vacation.
And and whoever your CA is or your integrator, I mean, you can also bring them. We have a lot of docs that do bring their marketing assistants and whatnot. It's a good idea to certainly get your hands dirty and at least know the overall strategies and ideas. But if you have a right hand and you want them to come with you, it would be a great idea too.
Absolutely. So I'll just go back to this link so you guys see what you get with the bonuses. If anybody has a question, last few minutes of this masterclass, we've got about 5 or 6 minutes to wrap up, and then we're going to move on. So if you have questions, drop it in the chat, guys. I appreciate all the kind words from people as well. Thank you very much, Dr. Jason West. Yeah, I hope you can make it. Dr. Brian Quinn, Dr. Sarah. Fantastic. All right. So Matt, any parting words you want to share? You and I have been masterminds since I go back. I'm the old guy in the group. I go back to 1990, and this is before I graduated. I actually started training with John Whitney, who was a chiropractic coach, and then I've gone to all sorts of different coaches. Now it's mostly digital marketing, social media. There's not too much more I can learn in the chiropractic world. But that's allowed me to build a 7-figure practice and help other doctors now with the digital social media world. I mean, oh my gosh, it's so evolving, so changing. And this is what really gets me up every morning, Matt. I tell you, I'm a voracious reader. I've got lots of books, my Kindle, I'm always reading, I'm always learning. I've got digital marketing courses online. It never ends, and it's always evolving and changing. And I believe, it's like surfing. You've got to pop before that wave hits you, not on top of the wave, not after, if you want to ride in today's turbulent economic world. So,
yeah, the most important, getting going sometimes is the hardest thing, right? Because we're used to our patterns and our routines. And sometimes, at least what I find, is you just need to completely give yourself a pattern interrupt. And for this event can be one of those things where you're literally shocked. I mean, I've met docs that haven't taken a vacation in years, right? And they're almost shocked into a new environment, and they're like, oh yeah, I like this. I want more of this. How can I do this more? And that's not, you don't have to live on the beach, but you should be able to go to the beach when you want to, or go whatever your happy place is. But a lot of doctors are unfortunately chained to their practices. And this is where, when I started generating income online and through passive investments like this, if I wanted to be in practice, I could be in practice. If I didn't, I didn't. If I wanted, like we were just in Costa Rica last weekend, because it doesn't matter where I go, I can do business. That's a beautiful thing to have. Even to the smallest degree, it's always good to have options, period. And everyone's wants and needs are different. But if you have options, I can't think of anything more important than that. So that's really what our trainings can give you. Like, this is how we did it. You're learning from us. Here's exactly what I did, and here's how you can shortcut your growth. And not spend all the money that I spent. I don't call it spend. It was an investment. I learned a lot, and I did go through a lot of hard knocks, but it's an extreme shortcut to get where you want to be. Just come to the event with somewhat of a clarity, like, oh yeah, I want to start this type of business, or I want to grow my practice in this way. Because if you're at least got that down, it'll make it a lot easier. And I can certainly help you brainstorm ideas and whatnot, but it just takes time to figure out where you want to be. And all right, feet to the ground, start to move forward. Even at a snail's pace, you'll eventually get there. But with the brain power that is in this room at our Caribbean Adventure Mastermind, you're going to get there a lot faster than you think.
Absolutely. Matt, I've been coaching doctors for 23 years, and I pretty well have to hold them down to take a break every 12 weeks. So my philosophy is work your ass off for 12 weeks, take week 13 off, just go to a Caribbean retreat, go to a cabin somewhere, just relax, give your brain, your body a break. You'll come back refreshed, and you'll actually see growth in your practice. And this is critical for those of you who feel like you're in a rut, or you're static, you're stale, you're not getting any growth. You really do have to give your mind, your body, and your spirit a break. And by immersing, I call it there's an old marketing technique called the Winnie Pooh effect. You stick in your paws in the honey pot, you get more honey on you. Same sort of analogy with this event, that by being with like-minded people, and I like to always think smarter guys in the room, that you're gonna just get a ton of stuff from us. And it's not just the morning sessions, because we train in the morning from 8 to 1. We have the afternoons off, whether it's beach or pool, whether it's the yacht or whatever you want to do. That the masterminding continues. It continues at night too. We go, we eat and we drink, we party. So it is 3 days immersed with Matt, myself, and Dr. Isaac Jones from Health Experts Alliance, who's going to be there. So I've never been to a better seminar, and I'm going to brag about this. This is my shameless plug, but I've never been to a better seminar than I have at UCAM. The amount of knowledge that you're going to download in 3 short days.
It's a powerful, powerful training. So
all right.
I'd love
So
you guys to join us.
No more questions, guys. We want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for joining us today and listening in to what we have to offer. Make sure you click on those 2 links. They're exactly the same. That's going to pop up a window for you. You can fill in the ticket, get your butt and your flight down to Cancun with us, and our team will help you get your room settled in as well. So thanks again, guys. We'll see you on our next masterclass.
All right, guys. Have a good day.